People have issues.
I'm tangled in your iPad. Is this gonna? I'm just worried that I might accidentally unplug your iPad right there.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I know people have issues. Christina.
God, but
issues. I was wearing a T-shirt yesterday that said "We have issues," but it was a 7 days T-shirt, and it said 7 days on the front, and then it said "We have issues" on the back.
That's great. That's deep. That's philosophical.
Super deep. Mm-hmm. Oh, welcome everyone. Welcome to Friday, which Christina and I are personally responsible for happening. We make Fridays happen.
We do.
People would not be getting a Friday if we hadn't arranged things with the big guy upstairs.
Right.
Just kidding. Obviously.
It's not so obvious. Seems like you really think that you created Friday.
I feel giddy today for actually blocking someone on Facebook for the first time ever.
I know. That's what I was trying to say. Is people have issues, so stop feeling so guilty about blocking this person. People have issues.
I know. I've just never blocked anyone in the history of anything.
Well, how do you feel now?
A little nervous. Like, what's going to happen to me now that I blocked them? Can people know that you blocked them, or does it just look like you disappeared from Facebook?
Yeah. Yes.
What? No idea what you just said.
I said yes.
Oh, great.
It's okay. You're a grown-up now.
I guess. I don't feel grown up, though. You know, I keep waiting kind of for the grown-up to take charge, and it's very disconcerting when I realize that that's me. And I'm wondering when this feeling is going to go away. You know, in my 40s now, you'd think that this feeling would be sort of easing out of me, but I should be confident in my own ability to grown up.
Yes. But I'm afraid that will never happen for you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It really sort of hit home yesterday when... I saw you saw my post about the ghosts on the... ghost on Facebook.
Yeah.
So there's this one room in my museum, this big gothic, creepy Victorian mansion, which is actually, I don't find creepy one bit, the mansion itself. But I've worked there for 6 or 7 years, and once a summer, maybe twice, a couple times, every year that I've worked there, someone will walk into a certain room and immediately just go still and say, oh, this room has a funny feeling. This is a bad vibe. Something terrible happened in here.
Question.
What's that?
Is it always the same room?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I don't really want to believe in ghosts because I've got enough to deal with already. So I don't really want that to be a thing. Because that would just change how I feel about a lot of stuff in life.
Sure.
And I don't have time to reevaluate my belief system right now.
Might be time.
I know. But so the kind of coincidence can't be denied. I don't give these people any backstory that could lead to anything to do with them having to say this room is creepy. In fact, someone actually did die in that room, but people do not know this. They literally don't. In fact, I don't fib, but I omit that completely from my talk of as far as they know, this is a happy house. No one's ever died in it. People often ask me, is this place haunted? And I immediately say, no, not at all.
Can I just say that somebody dying in a room doesn't make it a bad room necessarily?
Of course not. But the circumstances of that particular death, it was kind of terrible
Sad.
And tragic.
Okay.
But so the first year someone said this to me, it was a lady who was dressed like a fortune. She was dressed like a fortune teller. She had like a long gauzy skirt on and those really irritating shoes that just look like
ballet slippers?
No. Those like shoes that people who want to pretend that they're barefoot all the time wear.
Birkenstocks?
No, Christina. They have like the little toes in them. They look
Crocs.
They look like those toe socks.
Oh, those?
I don't even know how to
like
describe
athletes run in
and I just really don't like
toe
them.
shoes.
I just don't like them. They didn't really go with the rest of her outfit, but she had a little turban and stuff too. So when she told me that there was something terrible about that room and it had an evil, bad energy, I literally laughed inside my head and said, "You're a quack. I don't know what you're silly. Look at your shoes."
Was that the first one?
That was the first one. So I wrote that off easily, no problem. A couple other people did it later, and I just attribute it to the fact that, well, this is the only room in the house that doesn't have wall-to-wall carpeting, so they must just think it's echoey or something. I mean, I found ways to say,
to rationalize.
This is why they find this room different or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then as it kept happening, and yesterday, we had a totally normal tour. The people weren't weird. I can sniff out a weird person from a mile away, as you know.
Like me?
No, you smell normal.
Okay.
But anyway.
Just checking.
The people were totally normal. And when we got into this room, the man started to freak out. And he was like, we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here right now. I don't like the feeling something terribly is wrong in this room. And then outside the room, he was like shaking. He was really upset. And he was like, wow. He's like, that room has the most creepy feeling I've ever been in, and da-da-da. And he was like, don't ever go back in that room to me. And I'm thinking like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. I work here. I have to go in that room like many times a day. I have to. And he was like, I just sort of laughed at him and I said, well, I work here, And he was like, well, don't go in alone or what. I mean, he scared the crap out of me, Christina.
Wow.
Like, cause he was a normal person and he was so convinced of it. And I tried to ask him, I said, are you a psychic? Are you clairvoyant? And his wife was like, no, he's nothing like that. He's just a sensitive guy. Occasionally he gets these feelings. And then I was terrified. And it went into my head that this has now happened enough times.
And honestly, I don't know the difference between clairvoyance and sensitive in this case.
I don't either.
It's the same thing.
But I'm just really now upset. And I was terrified for the rest of the day.
Eileen gave you some great advice. Just use it.
I know. But I'm still scared because I don't want to see anything. I don't want to feel or hear anything.
No, why don't you tell us all what Eileen recommended for you?
Well, she recommended that I just sort of try to project this like mental light image around me that is protection. But I don't know if there's something, I don't know if you want to protect yourself or if you want to help that thing. And I don't know.
We'll start with protection till you get
I feel like a
used
jerk
to
though,
it.
because so in that room, the people who lived in that room, I do have things to say about them during the tour. And if there is a ghost in there, they've heard me basically talk about them being a alcoholic jerk for like a really long time. And I feel bad now. Like maybe they're just upset about the things that I have to say about them when I come into that room.
Maybe you're fine maybe it's all copacetic there with you.
Although I don't think the only person that passed away in that room was a little toddler boy.
Yeah.
And his mother was just like beside herself for months. And she probably did sit in there and just sob for months and months and months. So I don't know what I'm dealing with here. If it's a baby, if it's a grieving mother, or if it's the older brother who turned into like a wild party animal alcoholic and then drank his liver to death. So
choices. Too many options.
If I had to pick one, I'd pick the mom because I feel like I can relate. I don't feel nervous about her. I suppose I wouldn't feel nervous about a baby, but I don't want an angry alcoholic ghost. Just saying.
Right. I just have a feeling that you have all the tools that you need to resolve this issue.
But see, now the one tool is that I don't actually believe in ghosts, really, so I don't really...
But you don't not believe in them.
Well, I can't not really at this point.
You're kind of in limbo.
I am in wicked limbo, Christina.
Yeah, so you need to take a stand. Why don't you just take a stand on it?
Well, I'm not ready, because I really don't have the time to readjust some things right now. And I would have to, like, it would change my mind about, like, the afterlife and stuff. And I just am not...
That might just take 5 minutes
maybe in
a day.
A couple months, I'll revisit.
No, it doesn't take that long. It's just like if it comes up in a day, you can just sit for 5 minutes and think something great about it. Think something positive about it.
But it would be such an effect on how I act and behave and how I feel about death and life. And
I think that's so exciting.
Yeah, but I'm too busy right now.
I don't think so. You always say that.
I know.
You're such a dork. God. Like all these great opportunities coming your way, and little people like red flags coming up. Like, hey, cool stuff here. Today
is my last day.
Come meet a ghost.
No, thank you.
Hang out.
No, it was awful too because luckily my boss was there for a project that she was doing in another building that day, and I was really foolishly telling her this story in the main hall when she came down to the house. And she is basically exactly like me. She's worked in old buildings forever, and she said the same thing. She's kind of, she stays skeptical because she's got a also very vivid imagination. She doesn't want to have to like deal with the fear and the worry and whatever that comes with believing in ghosts if you have to spend a lot of time by yourself in dark, old houses.
Yeah, but I think the fear is more about like not knowing how to relate to a ghost. But if you can figure that part out, like how you want to relate to a ghost, then you don't need to be scared of them. You're just scared because you think like somehow they're malevolent and they can do something to you.
No, I'm scared to think that they really exist, I guess, is the issue.
Well, why is that bad?
Because that changes my view of what I've always believed in.
That's so cool.
No, I know it's cool on some level, but it's also like hard.
I know. And next thing you're going to get into astrology, and then it's all going to go downhill from there.
Go there.
It's like this big slide down.
That's a whole other thing. Down there, you silly lady. Well, anyway, I was talking with her in this very dark, long hallway, and she was telling me her little stories and saying what she does when she has to lock up a building all by herself. I tend to sing Christmas carols really loudly when I am upstairs alone, like locking up the building because I don't. It's just to override any possible like whispers or anything that might be there. I don't want to hear that. So I just sing Jingle Bells or something really loudly. And she was laughing because she said, I sing show tunes really loudly when I've got to go up around. So she's very similar to me. Anyway, as we were talking and, I was really on edge because this guy had just left and he was so convincing and it was really like disturbing. And unbeknownst to me, our summer intern, Alex, had climbed up on the roof and he was about to drain a big area that on our roof that had gathered a bunch of water. It was kind of a decorative
like leaves
top of a turret that we have. And it was about 6 inches of water up there. And we know that it gathers there. So we've put a tarp up there so you can like lift the tarp up and spill the water off the roof so it doesn't leak. But I didn't know he was up there. And all of a sudden behind my back, right over the, front door, all of a sudden comes this horrible whooshing noise. And I almost peed my pants. Like my boss was laughing so hard later, describing how I had jumped so high because we're just talking about spooky things. And as far as I know, we're alone in the big house. And then right behind me comes the craziest, if you've ever heard water being whooshed out of a tarp, like outside a door right over your head. I don't know how to describe it, but it was terrifying.
God.
So, I'm a little high-strung right now.
A little high-strung?
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't even drink coffee.
How about a quiz?
All right.
This is sort of on the theme. So
I did not mean. Also, I started this thread on Facebook, and everyone was like, "Oh, ha ha! It's almost Halloween." I was not starting it because it was Halloween. Like it just happened to happen, right?
Well, half the people were like Halloween centric with it,
right?
And the other half were like went really deep with it.
I know, I didn't need that either, but I don't. It was just most of the people that have said this to me have not been around Halloween time. It's happened in June. It's happened, it's whatever. So I wasn't meaning to start some little.
But you did, and it was interesting.
Halloween.
It was great. The whole thing, the whole thread was very interesting. So I wouldn't like walk it back.
No.
Yeah.
But I was
It was
kind of
great.
like,
It was surprising that people had so much to say in all different directions.
It's surprising to me how many people actually do believe in ghosts. Whenever I feel like I almost could, I feel really foolish inside too at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it suddenly reverses my life and turns me into an 11-year-old girl again. I feel like maybe if I'm an mature adult, I will realize that these things aren't real and they're I can find ways to explain them. They're, imaginations that are just
What if science could explain a ghost?
Yeah, and I think probably science has tried to a little bit before.
So you're going to wait for that. You're going to wait for science to explain a ghost, and then you'll be cool with it.
I don't fully always. I mean, I believe in science, but obviously I think there's lots of things that science has not gotten into yet.
Yeah, I just want to offer that you don't have to wait for science.
No, I wouldn't. I'm just
okay.
I'm just waiting for a convenient time, basically.
All right,
for me.
Okay, we'll put a date on the calendar. Yeah. Okay, so here's your quiz. The term holy moly. Okay, here's the quiz. What is a moly?
Like a Mexican food.
Oh, okay. That's valid.
Well, like mole.
I guess that wasn't much of a quiz, was it? Holy Mexican food?
No! Like, okay, so isn't mole like that spicy chocolate stuff?
Yeah, but that's not really what I'm talking about. When people say holy moly, I don't get it. It's not like saying jumping Jehoshaphat.
They just say it because it rhymes with holy.
Okay, valid. All right, so here's
Do you have a real answer? Do you have like a real answer?
I do not.
Plugged in over
I do not, and I have another very strange quiz for you.
Okay.
And I made this up when I was driving down here today. Just as I passed that old chair that's still, that old chair that's still on the side of the road. Yes, the free
upholstered chair that's been rained on for 6 months.
It's still free.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it was free when it was dry. And
Can you imagine if you sat on that, the squishing of water that would like?
Do you think someone's going to pick it up?
No.
Maybe someone's going to just get so tired of looking at it that they're going to pick it. Like I almost felt like getting it.
Someone will take it to the dump for them.
I want to take it because I can't stand thinking of sitting on a wet, easy chair. So.
It makes me really worried.
Okay, so how do you get a Vermont law firm? How do you get that? How do you create that?
What? I don't understand your question. Rephrase.
How do you get a Vermont law firm?
You go to law school and then you live here. What are you talking about?
Okay, I figured it out.
I don't know.
I figured this out. Just just loosen the synapses in your brain for a minute.
They're so loose.
Just okay, relaxed. Okay, you take a sheriff, you take a farmer, and you take an excavator. And here's an example. Egham, Ainsworth, and Clark. You got it?
I'm so not following you.
Okay,
I know Dave Egham is running for sheriff.
Yes, he's the sheriff.
Ainsworth
is the farmer.
Is
David Ainsworth
running against John.
And Arthur Clark's the excavator.
Arnold Clark.
Arnold.
Yes, he is. What, are they on a sign together?
So, Egham, Ainsworth, and Clark. Doesn't it sound like a law firm?
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
You're just reading signs that are up down the valley as you drove here.
Yeah, so you come up with one.
It does
Think
not
of a sheriff. Do you know a sheriff?
Do I know a sheriff?
Yeah. Do you know a last name of a sheriff?
Yeah, what's that guy that's the sheriff right now?
What's his name? His last name? Oh, come on. You don't know a sheriff?
We don't have a lot of sheriff activity here.
There's a sheriff in Chelsea.
When you call them, they don't come.
Doyle?
No, it's not
There
Doyle.
must be a Doyle sheriff.
I can't think of what his name is.
Okay, let's skip up to the farmer.
Okay.
O'Brien.
Yeah, we're farmers.
Okay, what about an excavator? Loftus.
Loftus.
Okay, so we need the sheriff.
I can't think of his name.
Let's pretend it's Doyle. So Doyle, O'Brien, and Loftus. Doesn't that sound like a law firm?
Christina, why don't you just add any three last names together? Like
I just think it works.
Howe and Stykos and
no, that sounds terrible. It works better with a sheriff, a farmer, and an excavator. I'm telling you, I worked it out. It's like a mathematical formula.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
I'm gonna check.
Well, I don't think any of them went to law school.
That's not the point. They don't have to.
Okay.
God, you're so literal.
We've used a law firm name as our as our little film project name before. We've used Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Actually,
Right.
But I think that the Three Stooges used that before us.
No, it's Garrison Keillor.
Yeah, I know it's Garrison Keillor, and there's a sign somewhere in Cambridge, I believe, that says that too, and it's just a joke, but...
Okay, speaking of names,
yeah,
a guy named Mike Flip sent me a friend request, and it looks like I might be his first friend ever.
I would then not be accepting that. You were just giving me Facebook advice. This is my advice to you.
I didn't give you Facebook advice. Courtney did.
You were in agreement, though, I think.
I was backing her up.
You said, yes, block that person.
Yeah, but she said it with some words. She had words about it that were stronger.
Yes.
I loved what she said. I wish we could say it. We probably could say it. We could say it. Blank that blank. Could you say it on the radio? Is BITCH, is that a swear on the radio? FCC swear?
I don't really know. You know, these are things that we should know. Being
right,
the awesome slacker DJs that we are, we'll
work on that.
We just kind of figure out these things.
Yeah. See, this is my grocery list. It's got 2 items.
Fly strips and butter. Are you going to combine those somehow?
I don't know.
Probably if you buttered your fly strips, they'd be even more effective.
They might be. But I thought that was kind of sad. A sad grocery list.
Are you coming to our party tomorrow? Please do.
I'm not that social.
No, but I have an idea. I have an idea, though.
Can you tell me who's coming? Can I wear a mask?
No, but here's what John asked me to ask you, actually, and he was going to
sit in the corner and play guitar.
Yeah.
Because you said music, and I said, oh, they have musicians.
Well, Steve is coming. You remember Steve from our wedding?
Steve. Oh, yeah, Steve.
And my dad. And we just want somebody to sort of jam in the corner.
Oh, what's Steve play? I forget.
Fiddle.
Oh, that'd be like a no-brainer.
Yeah. And Dad also plays fiddle. So they just want somebody to strum.
God.
And I figured this way you don't have to worry about anything social because you can either hang with me and we will replenish the hors d'oeuvre table, or you can hide in the corner with your guitar.
But you're the campaign manager.
People
are going to chat you up.
No.
Yeah, they are. You have to know the issues. You're going to have to wear that shirt.
I don't know any issues.
Well, you're going to have to by tomorrow.
In fact, I just argued with John because he made his little 3-fold pamphlet that we got to run and pick up tonight. And it was really annoying because he had to leave a ton of issues that were highly important to him and our campaign off of it because it didn't have enough room. Like, you could only do one sentence about each issue, and that was really annoying.
Dang it.
So he had to leave a bunch of stuff off, like lots of stuff.
Sorry.
Poverty, diversity. A lot of these things are not on his flyer, and they're kind of important.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
But also my sister Jen will be there, who is more socially awkward than both you and I combined.
She is not.
You wouldn't know it, but she is.
She hides it well.
So.
Okay, so I'm going to play a song off my iPad. Why do I only see 2? I feel like I should see 3.
Well,
okay, I'll check that out. But this one's called Honky Tonk Highway.
Yeah, by who?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
Oh, sorry.
Me.
Great.
Thanks a lot. I really. Okay.
Just play this song.
Okay, here we go.
I've been carrying a load over many a road. It's been a song in hell. From honky tonk to honky tonk, it's a life I've come to know too well. I've been praying out loud to many a crowd. It's been too long on the road. From beer to beer to cold black beer, it's a dream I've come to know too well. It's that honky tonk highway. Do you know another way? Well, it's full of hell, and I'll be damned, but I like it just that way. It's that gypsy life only, living life to be lonely, but I live life singing naturally and the place to be. It's a honky tonk highway, the honky tonk highway. settled to the bone. From age-old lines to satin rhymes, it too is growing old. But the blood runs on, gotta sing another song, ballad yet to be sung. For I'm done my crowing, the battle is a bet to be won. It's that Honky Tonk Highway. Do you know another way? Well, it's full of hell, and I'll be damned, but I like it just that way. It's that gypsy life only. Live a life to be lonely, but I live life singing naturally, and the place to be is the Honky Tonk Highway. The Honky Tonk Highway. The Honky Tonk Highway. The Honky Tonk Highway.
Yes. That was the
Davis.
The Davis brothers.
We knew it. We knew it the second they started.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that distinctive voice, I knew it was the voice of Davey Davis. Infamous. Do you remember last week we were here and my phone, I got a notification on my phone that somebody wanted to book a room at my Airbnb.
You had them all booked up,
and their
right?
name, no, there was a guy named Kiss.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I didn't know if I didn't know
yeah.
it was a guy. I didn't know if it was a girl.
Right.
But his name actually was Kiss, and I looked it up, and that is a name. Kiss. Kiss is a name.
Like spelled the
And-
same way that we would spell it.
Yeah, Kiss, and it's red. They ranked
So it wasn't
it.
like KYS or some
No,
one of
it's
those
K-
funky ways that's like Icelandic or anything.
No, Kiss. And they
And his mom named him this. His actual mom.
I didn't ask him.
Okay. Was it on his credit card? You don't have a credit card machine, do you?
I don't ever see people's credit cards. Airbnb handles
Then you don't
that.
know. You don't know if this is really his name.
Look, it's a name. Why would a guy go around saying his name was Kiss if it wasn't? I doubt it. Just be logical. Use that logical mind of yours.
I'm trying. Okay, fine. All right, for the sake of argument, let's
So-
say his name was Kiss.
Yes. Now, they rank names like how the most used names, and guess what the rank is for Kiss?
It's probably the least used name.
Well, what number would that be, do you think?
Well, how many names are there?
I'm not going to tell you. This is like, what? Just do a wild guess.
I don't know.
Wild
It's
guess.
probably right above like Moon Unit.
Yeah, 21,314th in the most used category.
Wow.
Most
Wow.
used names. But so he was a really nice guy. And so every time somebody comes to use my cabin, I have to ask them, do you know how to use a wood stove? Right?
Right.
Because I'm going to leave them there with the wood stove.
Right.
And so he said, oh, yes. So I said, yes. So I said, great. And then he proceeded to tell me about how he almost burned his house down twice.
Oh, sweet story, dude.
Yeah. So I wasn't quite sure where to go with that. So I just turned around and left. Okay.
Well.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck.
You'd say, kiss my butt.
Yeah, just let me know if
And
you smell some.
paws off my wood stove.
Yeah. But when I left on Monday to go see my mom,
Yeah.
I had 9 guests at my place.
What? You just left them, including the
I had
burner?
I had a fantastic house sitter.
Pyro?
No, I had a house sitter
Okay,
who was
all right.
willing to take that last night of the 9 guests. And boy, did they have fun after I left.
Wow.
When the cat's
away.
away, the mice will play. Yeah, they had a
I
big...
assume this was a Davis brother
Yes.
who was
Yes. So
partying hardy at your house.
They had some partying going down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it sounded fun. Sounded good. There was 2 Vietnamese graduate students from Harvard. They were the funnest. They were so fun.
They sound fun.
Yeah, and there was two folks from the Netherlands who were engaged.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And then the burner, the pyro.
The pyro
The arson.
kiss. And there was a mother and a son from Northern California. Oh, actually, they left. They didn't stay to party. So it was cool. But
And
my
your
house
was
sitter,
still standing when you got home.
yeah, you get a house sitter. Your house sitters always have quirks.
And no more cats were blind this time.
No, but I'll tell you what. He had a very interesting way. He had this little quirk with the cat box, is that he would clean the cat box. I could tell he cleaned the cat box, but he would then leave the scoop in the cat box.
Well, how do the cats feel about this?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know. It's
Yeah, our cats
challenging.
don't want the scoop anywhere near them.
No.
The scoop is taboo. The scoop is like not
Yeah.
flushing in cat world, kind of.
Yeah. And so, I got back last night and I could tell something was bugging him.
Here comes the train. I'm just going to
Okay, I'll say this fast.
Okay.
And so I said, what is it? And he looked at me really sheepish and he said, I ate some of your nuts.
Uh-oh.
Here comes.
Ate your nuts.
What are you thinking about right now?
Nuts.
There it goes. I see it.
Whoopity-doo!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You may have to retire those pants really soon.
No.
Like, there's nothing holding them together, Christina.
I'm telling you, this
Except
is
for, like, the piece around your
no,
crotch.
this is a backlash because all week I had to wear pants that looked perfect because I was at a retirement home visiting my mother.
I see.
So I had a perfect pair of pants on.
You had to be the perfect daughter.
And so when I came home, I ran upstairs to get my most comfortable pair of jeans, and that's
which are not even jeans at this point. They're just like...
I know, but I have long underwear on, so
You're going to get something caught at the big patch behind your knee.
I do. They catch in my kitchen. They catch on the drawer. What do you call
goodness.
handles on the drawers?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Handles.
But I can deal.
Okay.
There's worse things. There's people have worse problems than that.
I know,
if you can
I know.
imagine it.
Well, so Davey ate all the nuts. Well, that's too bad. But
I said it was fine. I don't care if he eats my nuts.
when my ex-brother-in-law, Jared, was house-sitting for somebody once, he had like a horrible craving for sugar. And the only sugar he could find in their house was a bottle of those like gummy vitamins. So he ate the whole bottle. And then we were all like, that was a really bad idea.
That's really bad.
And he said, they didn't have any iron in them. That's the thing that kills you, isn't it? And he was like, they're for kids. I must be at least like, 4 kids worth. So it's fine.
Oh, that's really makes me sick.
I know.
It's so sick.
But he was fine. He was literally fine.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Yeah.
Nuts are, I just heard on some radio show, a talk show. I don't listen to radio talk shows ever, which I know is
If it's
jerky of
something
me.
if it's something bad about nuts, I don't want to hear it.
No, it's not bad about nuts. It's sort of neutral about nuts. They were talking about people who didn't eat fish, which is
Like
myself. Yeah, I don't eat fish because it's disgusting. And you don't eat fish because
Because it's an
they're an
animal that looks at
Um,
you with sad eyes. I was going to say your lion eyes. I don't know why that just popped in my
Anyway,
head.
they said that like vegans and things think that they can get away with eating nuts for their omegas that other people get from fish oils and stuff. But they said it actually doesn't process in your body the same way. So you have to go.
People
get
think they're so
supplement or
smart.
something.
People think they're so smart
And
when
I
they
was like,
learn
wait a
some
minute.
weird
I don't
little
eat
fact.
any fish or any like nut.
Like go to
omegas,
graduate
so
school for a few years and
no
then tell
wonder
me
my
that.
brain is screwed up. I don't have any omegas, I guess, in me.
There's probably a lot of other stuff that other people don't have, but you have that stuff.
You know what also he said? He said the avocados are not vegan.
Let's just stop with this.
He said anything that gets pollinated by a bee, you are using an animal product. If it got pollinated
Well,
by
that's
a bee.
just
and
about
honey.
everything now,
and honey
isn't
isn't
it?
vegan. I mean,
Well,
not that I'm vegan. I'm not vegan.
Let's gnaw on some field grass then.
No, doesn't it get perpetuated by animals?
Well, what
somehow?
do you suggest?
Nothing. I was
Where
just
are you
talking
going
about
with this?
how ridiculous this is starting to be.
Don't look at me. I eat avocados.
I know. I didn't say you're not a vegan anyway.
No,
I'm just saying I don't mind animal products. that don't harm animals. I don't feel like things that were pollinated by an animal is harming the animal in any way. Do you?
I just don't know, but I just feel like a lot of it's sort of like
I
how...
want to understand why vegans are... Certain vegans who are very strict are so obsessed with not using any animal product because really, like say, for instance, wool. A strict vegan apparently does not want to use wool, but that not only does it not harm the animal to take their wool, but it helps the animal because you can't leave the wool on an animal. I had a friend who didn't know that it was harmful to leave the wool on, and their sheep couldn't even like walk anymore. It couldn't even put its head down to eat because it had too much wool because they'd never shorn it. It was starving to death under all the wool.
Is that because they're bred like that?
Probably.
Because it wouldn't be normally unable to eat because its hair grew.
Right. I don't know, but I know that a modern day sheep has to be shorn. You're helping it when you take that wool.
I think it's more important what your attitude is when you eat and not what you eat.
Yes.
Right.
I do too. I am a little curious about the whole. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think you can't make hard and fast rules. You have to figure out what's right for yourself. And of course, I'm super strict with what I eat, but that's for me. It's not for you. Yeah, that's just how I interpret it.
Well, I don't eat much meat. I just eat a little bit of chicken sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't think they look at me with sorrowful.
The chickens?
Lion eyes or whatever you said.
Your lion eyes.
What's that line? Just have a little
What's that?
Your lion
you can't hide your lion eyes.
Oh, yeah,
you can't hide your lion eyes.
Yep. I chickens. I like chickens as people, but I also have bad poultry. I have bad memories of being pecked or chased or pinched by poultry. So
yes, I did not feel super close to them.
No, I just don't. I see other people that have pet chickens and they really love them, and I'm totally cool with that. And I see that they can love them, and I see that the chickens can love them back. But I don't know. I haven't been able to foster that feeling of affection.
Some people are dog people. Some people are cat people. Some people like chickens. I do not feel particularly close to chickens, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good.
I have to pee, but my jeans have the button
fly. Can you wait?
I'm just sick of things that cause so much trouble in my life.
Well, that's like
button flies take way too long. So
no,
I'm just going to hold it.
I'm
just going to hold it for a really long time because I don't want to have to button all those buttons back up again.
Well, I have dreams all the time. I think my top number one recurring dream is that I either have clothes that are too tight that I can't get on, or I have clothes that are too tight that I can't get off.
That's a very weird reoccurring dream. Why would you have that?
Because I hate clothes so much, obviously.
Well, you wear enough of them. Why don't you stop wearing so many?
Yeah, but I wear nice loose clothes that aren't really clothes. They're just like a bunch of, I don't know, it's almost like skins that I just threw on. Okay. Which would be my ideal if I was friendly with the animals that weren't killed by, nefarious means. Then I would take
It's too bad all animals couldn't just sort of shed and have a new one, because then you could have lots of skins.
Well, animals do just die, right? You're a farmer. They do drop dead.
Well, I do think, like, if you are going to be a farmer, you have to use and respect every part of that animal. That's. I don't like it when people just farm things for one part of the animal. Like, say we had sheep and we just farmed them for the meat, and then we just threw the rest away. That would be not right. I think if you're going to take a life, you do not waste a part of it. You have to use the skin and all
that's very self-righteous. That's kind of vegan-esque.
Well, I don't eat them. But
let's just keep it simple. I don't want to use all the animal parts.
There are parts I don't use. Like, I don't think we use their eyeballs for anything.
Great.
I think those just go in a garbage bag.
TMI.
Sorry. Sorry, vegetarian lady.
Yeah.
I don't go outside on those days. That's the one part of farming that I refuse to be involved in.
If I didn't have headphones on, I would be sticking my fingers in my ears and going la la.
Instead, my voice is right in your ears.
Yeah, I can't get away from you.
Nope.
But I could change the subject easily. Okay. I could either talk about all the car problems I had while I was on my trip. I was coming back yesterday, and I got to Middlebury, right?
Yeah.
And there's a huge traffic jam where you're creeping. You have to creep ahead for 10 feet and then stop the car.
In Middlebury?
Yes, and every
What, was there
time it was
construction
like
or
3 in the afternoon. I don't know what was going on, but every time I put my foot on the brake, this like a grindstone noise that was so loud it felt like everybody everywhere was like going, "What's wrong with her car?"
I think mine does that too, actually.
Well, I got a car appointment today because
Well,
it's
that's
not
really
a
good.
good sound. So there was that. There's other stuff too, but I'm not
Your
going to go
rotors
into
are
it.
pitted.
I don't care. I went to I went to Rupert. Did I tell you I was going to go to Rupert?
No, I don't know what Rupert is.
Rupert, Vermont? You don't know Rupert, Vermont?
You always come up with names of places that don't.
Well, it's good for
I've
you.
Never
This is
heard
good.
of.
This is invigorating for you. This is like put hair on your
Rupert.
chest. You should go to
I
Rupert.
really would like not to have hair on my chest, actually.
Well, it's out near
Enough
West.
hair maintenance as it is.
Okay. How about West Paulette?
Yeah, okay, I know where that is.
Okay, so we're at the neighborhood
Yes.
there.
Or I know at least that exists.
West Paulette, Rupert, Tinmouth.
I've heard of Tinmouth.
Okay, that's where I went on my way to Ithaca.
Wow.
Because I just, Paulette is a very interesting village, has a very interesting village. And it's kind of like, you kind of get the impression that the most exciting thing that happens there is like a road closure. It's very quiet. But it's got those weird buildings. You know how some of the villages in Vermont, like Bethel's like this. It's got these weird, they're not houses. What are they? Like straight up and down row houses, I guess is what you call
They're
them.
not houses. It's like a block with...
Yeah, it's
with
like a block with row houses in the middle
little
of a tiny,
businesses and
tiny
things,
town.
right?
Yeah, or not. Or else it's all shuttered
Empty.
up.
Yeah.
And
But they were
Paulette-
once. They probably were little hardware stores or post offices and things, right?
Yeah, and it looks fascinating. I mean, it piques your interest.
Like
and
a
you-
ghost town, like those false fronts, but not false fronts.
Yes, and you wish that you could buy the town
Yeah.
and just go there with your friends and set up camp. That's what I always think. Like, oh, I'd like to come here with,
Those used to be my favorite children's books. There was one called Ghost Town Treasure, and it was like an abandoned ghost town that these people bought and turned it into like their own
a
little...
ghost town.
own little, like,
Can't believe
I
it.
believe they revitalized the town by turning it into like a little tourist destination or something. But it was one little family and they found a cave and did tours in it. And it was just like, it was one of those very campy little stories. But
Yeah,
I loved
cool.
as a child. What? Is your phone
Keith
whistling?
just says it sounds like your brakes are run down and metal grinds on rotor. Yeah. So I'm glad I have that car appointment today. I mean, it's the first thing
Wow, it's like
pulled-
we're turning our show into car talk.
Yeah, right. Well,
Like, because
There's
we
a
know
big-
so much about cars.
there's a big empty space since car talk is done.
I'm
but-
super bummed because I just got a Prius and I don't know how to drive it, actually.
You can't even hear those things arrive.
No, okay, that's
That
all
I
first
hate.
creepy.
I hate the
haven't
fact.
driven it yet. And John has taken it today because I literally don't know how to drive it.
Well-
I'm gonna have to sit in the driver's seat and John's gonna have to sit in the passenger seat and teach me to drive.
Do you remember when?
Because it's weird.
Do you remember when we had that party? Like, why we had some party at our house? It was we had our big annual music party, and it was late at night, and there was a bunch of kids that came who were super drunk and started to get rowdy. And so I was trying to kick one off the property, but he had come in his parents' Prius, and we couldn't get the thing started. Like, I was going to drive him somewhere. I don't know, I was going to drive him home or something, but I got in the car. I didn't know how to turn it on.
No, I am so confused. And so I've got to learn. Like, there's a button. It's a push button that starts it, apparently, which is strange.
I
'cause how
couldn't.
do you
I
shut
pushed
it?
the button.
Well, you don't hear anything. It starts, but you don't
What
know it
is a
starts.
car that you can't hear when it's
I don't
on?
know. Like, lights come on, and then you know it's on
That's
or whatever.
dumb.
And then the shifter isn't like down where the shifter's supposed to be. It's just like kind of on the dashboard, and you push it to go into different
I don't
gears.
know. If you want to drive that, you should go to another planet. That doesn't work here.
It feels. I'm just scared to drive it, so I haven't yet. but-
Any car that you can't hear that can creep up on you,
yeah.
there's just something wrong with that.
No, it's a good thing, Christina, because even when it's running solely on the gas part of it, it still is getting like 55, 60 miles a gallon. But
You can plug that thing in.
no, it recharges itself whenever you like go down hills or use
No.
the brakes or anything. Yeah, it recharges the batteries, I guess. It's cool. It's great. And I want to have a car that is good for the environment, but I need to relearn how to drive. And I get very nervous if I drive my Subaru, which is standard, I have to turn the radio down because I can't hear if I'm shifting the gears properly unless I can hear the gears. So I drive badly if my radio is on. So, and this is like the same thing. I can't hear what's happening, so I don't really know.
Yes.
I don't know.
God made noise for a reason.
I guess so.
As a warning that life was going on. And if you have a Prius and you don't hear it, it's, when a tree falls in the forest,
you have a
right?
Prius and you can't hear it. Is it really saving
I know, that's how I feel about it.
They should just have like a recording that plays over your radio of a car.
I've actually thought about that
just to put you at ease.
I've been so scared by Priuses that crept up on me. I have. I don't like it. It's disconcerting.
I'm like, I love you, little car, but I don't understand you.
Right.
And I want to be friends, but we're going to have to figure this relationship out. Who's messaging you?
I'm sorry. Much? Keith and Tina said, girls, play nice. Don't make us come up there.
Uh-oh.
All right. We have to play another song. And then you can go to the bathroom if you want, if you think you can handle that.
Is it a long song so I can do all these buttons?
I have no idea. Let's put it on and we'll find out. This is called Two Crows, and I believe this is Richard Ruane and Beth Duquette.
Fell asleep by Alder Creek and heard two crows begin to speak. By Alder Creek I heard two crows conversing. The smaller two, the larger said, the sleeper here will soon be dead in the sunshine in the middle of the day. A mile upstream the wild geese swam in a pond made by an earthen dam. The wild geese swam in a pond now close to bursting. That earthen dam is giving way. The sleeper he will drown today in the sunshine in the middle of the day. Drowned he'll be while sleeping fast. Drowned as churning waters pass. While sleeping he'll be taken by the river, washed away till washed to ground. And we shall follow where he's bound in the sunshine in the middle of the day. We shall feast upon him well. Oh, hear the waters start to swell. Oh, we shall feast, the wall of waters coming. The dam is burst, the water's near to sweep away the sleeper here in the sunshine in the middle of the day. The roar, I ran from that creek's deadly shore as rushing waters tried to overtake me. As they barely passed me by, I saw two crows rise in the sky in the sunshine in the middle of the day. Now crows remember every wrong, they don't forget though years have gone now. Every wrong, those real and those imagined. Sometimes on a branch I see two crows still waiting patiently in the sunshine in the middle of the day. I fell asleep by Alder Creek and heard two crows begin to speak in the sunshine in the middle of the day.
That was beautiful.
I didn't hear it because I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So, thank you, Keith, for leaving us voicemail there. Sometimes I don't answer the phone because I got too many things going on, but we're having a great time here in the studio. So I'm glad you're with us. And let's see, I wanted also a shout out to Paul for sending in the derivation of holy moly to us here on Facebook Messenger, which, let's see, it's a euphemism from 1892 for Holy Mary. And Molly being a nickname for Mary. So that's kind
There
of cool.
goes my holy moly guacamole.
Yeah, that theory just didn't hold water, did it?
Right out
no.
the window.
And also wanted to shout out to Tony.
I knew that when I... Tony, I know!
Tony! I finally got the honey.
Honey.
I got the honey from Tony.
Sorry, Tony. I took weeks to get it to her.
Yeah, but I got it
forgot every
now.
week.
It's never too late. So thanks. It's wonderful. It's from New York State Honey. It's from, I can't say that name. I don't know, Wynant Skill. New
That's
York.
not a word.
No, that's a weird one. Oh, he's a beekeeper. Tony is the beekeeper.
Yeah.
I get it. Brown Dog Apiary.
They had
That's
a
awesome.
booth set up at the fair.
Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, I met him at the fair. He brought us this
Well, I
honey.
know, but I thought he was just coming to the fair.
And I took
But he
I took a selfie and I forgot to post it too because it's somewhere. My camera is doing stupid things and it doesn't. When I load pictures onto my computer, it doesn't put them in order. They're like scattered all throughout, like a year's worth of pictures. So it's really hard to find things right
Yeah,
now. I don't
that's
know
tough.
what's wrong with that. But anyway,
Okay.
I
Just trying to make
can't believe that people listen to our shows and then they give us gifts and things.
I know.
Tina and Brian sent me. Keith and why did I say Brian?
Keith and
Because my
Tina.
neighbors are Keith and Brian.
Well, that's
are Tina and
confusing.
Brian. Keith and Tina sent us a big box of license plates for the boys for their clubhouse.
Oh.
So we are like almost at full like shingling ability.
That
at this
is
point.
freaking great.
I know.
That is so awesome.
It was awesome.
Fantastic. So, what's your neighbors' names? Did you say?
Tina and Brian. Are
Tina
my
and
neighbors.
Brian.
And when I think of our listeners, Keith and Tina, I sometimes automatically say Tina and Bri, like I'm like our neighbors, but
Okay, I gotcha.
didn't mean to slip like that.
Yeah. So I hung out with my mom this week.
I was going to say, how is your mom doing?
She's great. She's 92. She can go about 20 feet with her walker. And so we went out to a state park and we got about 20 feet to a picnic bench, table, whatever. And she took home a skipping stone in her pocket, which I felt was like huge.
That is huge.
When you live in a nursing home, sometimes like something you pick up off the beach might be really important, especially when you don't have any memory. Like she doesn't have any short-term memory, so she's going to pull that out of her pocket repeatedly and say, "Where did I get this?" And I think she'll remember where she got it. So she'll
Wow.
get to relive that moment of being at the beach.
How much has she forgotten? Like, does she remember your childhood or?
To some extent, we can hit on topics where she's got some stories. But
does she at this point remember who you are? Is that where-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's just like what I say to her, she forgets in about a minute.
Right,
So
okay.
she'll ask me the same question over and over. But I don't really mind.
No, I haven't really. That
Yeah.
kind of thing hasn't bothered me ever before with my
No,
elderly
and,
relatives either.
We do fun stuff. I must be simple-minded, but I love the kind of stuff that I do with her. Like we would go sit on benches outside her facility, and there's always stuff going on. Like there was this big machine that was digging up the walkway, digging up the dirt for this new walkway, and we sat there like for half an hour and just watched the machine go around this big loop. It was fun.
Sounds good.
It was fun.
Were there any dogs?
We saw one dog. So there was a dog. Yeah. So I guess I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about the trip, but it was pretty like low key.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing, she sometimes she says, "Oh, maybe I should have come to live at Kendall in Hanover, which is closer to here." So she lives in Kendall in Ithaca. It's the same company. And I have to remind her that all her friends are in Ithaca. But since she has short-term memory loss, she doesn't think she has any friends because she
that's
doesn't.
terrible.
I know she doesn't remember that she actually sees her friends. She doesn't remember visiting
Do
them.
they see each other pretty regularly?
I think so. I mean, I don't have any perspective because I'm not there all the time, but sometimes friends drop by, but she thinks she doesn't have any friends.
Oh, that's actually the saddest thing I ever heard, Christina.
I know. It's strange. It's just kind of a strange world. You have to adjust.
Do you know any of them? Can you tell them to stop by even more so that just...
There's one that I communicate with regularly.
And they have some other issue, not memory?
Well, it depends. It depends who we're talking about. Like she has this friend named Rusty, and he always used to be really friendly to us. Every time I would come visit, we'd always chat and stuff and tell jokes. And anyway, last time I saw him, he was kind of distant, and I didn't understand it. And I sort of took it personally, like, oh, I guess he doesn't like me anymore. But then I found out this trip from somebody else that he just got a diagnosis that he had 11 months to live. And I'm like,
oh my
okay,
gosh.
so now I understand why he might have avoided me, And that's the thing, is that you can't really make assumptions about what's going on in people's lives because you just have no idea unless they tell you. So
that's true. See, but that's what I was thinking about the person that you and Courtney told me to block on Facebook. I thought maybe they're just being hateful because they think they have something else going on in their lives, or maybe they think I did something to them that I'm not aware. Or
well, that's all true, but that's still. But you should still block them.
I know. It just felt to me like maybe I have the responsibility to follow up and see why they're so angry with me. I don't think there's any reason, but maybe they think they have a reason.
Well, I don't know. My first suggestion was you could ask her, but Courtney was a little bit more cutthroat. So I think either approaches are valid, really.
Anyway.
Yeah. What time is it? We got like 3 minutes.
Oh.
Can you believe that? 3 minutes.
No.
That's sad. Now I have to go to the rest of my day. I have to drive this car that's in bad shape to Barnard and check and consult a gardening job. And then I have a car, and then to the car appointment in Randolph. So I hope as long as I don't use my brakes, I'm okay.
Yeah, I went through all of high school not using brakes because I didn't really have them.
Yeah, so you can do it. It is possible.
The stop sign here at the corner of 110 and 14 was tricky.
Well, I still have a gear shift. It's a standard, so I can go into first, like way in advance.
You'll be fine.
Right?
See, mine was an automatic. I had a little brake, so I would have to start pumping like a mile before the stop sign.
Right, or hit the curb or something.
Right. If you swerve a lot, it sort of slows you down because it's not really steep coming down to that.
Yeah.
So as long as you can kind of...
Well, I thought I'd take Oxbow out to,
you'll be fine.
Out to Barnard. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening.
I know. And thank you, sponsors and underwriters, Tunbridge Grease Collective, Mountain Folk, Howville Farm, and Riven... What's the painting?
Yeah, Rivendell Restoration.
Rivendell Restoration, woo!
Yeah, good job. And
and you guys have been listening to 11th Hour Radio with Christina and Emily on WFVR-LP, Royalton Community Radio, 96.5.
Yep, and if you missed the show, you can catch it as a podcast on Apple Podcasts or
YouTube.
iHeartRadio.
Are we on iTunes anymore?
iHeartRadio is actually...
is Apple Podcasts.
iHeart is actually Comcast or something.
We don't know. Or you could just simplify and go to 11thhourradio.com and find them all there on our website.
Yeah, so Comcast rebranded their whatever podcast apparatus.
Again?
Well, it's just they just keep trying to trick people into thinking that it's not the multinational corporation that's taking over the world that it is. But anyway, that's okay.
Whatever.
I think it's just important to have a good week and forget about all that crap. So that's what I say. That's my vote.
I know. Enjoy the weekend. I think the color is going to go after this, so go enjoy it while it's here.
Enjoy, and we'll see you next week. Here's a track by Nolan McKelvey.
Lit up my night, a rope fell from the sky, landed at my feet, an invitation to climb. And I can still remember like it was my first time. Oh, the pleasures were so innocent, the stakes were so high. This worldly weight has kept me tied to the ground. You said you had the feathers, I should let my guard down. When you set your sights so high, you could get set up for a fall. Still I'd rather to have leapt than be left standing on the wall. I'll take my chances, falling for you. I'll take my chances, falling for you. I'll take my chances. This one would be the last. I had erased all my memories, they came down so fast. We drove out past Chapman's Landing, where the water was so dark, and the aurora borealis galvanized our hearts. We grabbed onto that rope, we began to climb. When the air got too thin, you said it was time for flight. You were almost out of sight. When I let go of that rope, I said I'd rather die trying than hope against hope. I'll take my chances, falling for you. Yeah, I'll take my chances, falling for you. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances, falling for you. I'll take my chances, falling for you. I'll take my chances. I am still falling